Hi everyone, my name is Tia Tyson. I'm a student at Liberty University. Today I will be giving a presentation on interpersonal communication for my HSCO Bible A class. Overview. What is interpersonal communication? My overarching goal. My uniquely you profile behaviorally. The 4 temperament model of human behavior. Enlarging the conversation, listening and communication. Effective listening, perceptions. Nexting and TLC, Tarka listening card. Potential barriers, barriers to listening. Noise pollution, my life, my responsibilities, and my priorities. And summing it all up, a plan of action. What is interpersonal communication? According to Stewart 2012, interpersonal communication is defined as the type or kind of communication that happens when the people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the person. My overarching goal. I endeavor to implement interpersonal communication into my everyday life by incorporating effective and attentive listening skills and techniques towards a healthy and productive interaction with others in an empathetic, non-critical, and/or non-judgmental way, which will strengthen my identity in Christ and help me to reflect His love, grace, and mercy to those He entrusts in my care. Stewart 2012 implies, when dealing with interpersonal communication, that when a person is listening empathetically, he or she is receptive or sensitive to full range of characteristics shared by the other person, but responds only with his or her own impersonal characteristics. And this is basically what I will be talking about in this presentation. My uniquely you profile, behaviorally. The 4 temperament model of human behavior. Mel's Carbonell 2008 introduces us to the 4 temperament model of uniquely you profile. This model is broken down into 4 personality types called DISC. This is D, active task-oriented, I, active people-oriented, S, passive people-oriented, and C, passive task-oriented. Also, for those who don't fit in any blend, we have the active outgoing type and the passive reserve type. You can find this chart in How to Solve the People Puzzle, Understanding Personality Patterns by Mel's Carbonell 2008. My behavioral blend. Since most of our difficulties in life are usually people problems, understanding why we do what we do is important. My Uniquely You report by Carbonell 2008 suggests that I am expected to be an SI blend, but the real me is a blend of CIS. So when looking at the chart, an SI blend is considered to be sensitive, inspirational, and represents others well. It goes on to imply that I have a lot of friends and I'm tolerant of others. The real me, however, consists of the CIS blend that says that I'm good at doing right things, stabilizing situations, I'm not aggressive or pushy, I'm good with people and comfortable with large or small groups. However, my profile did reveal that I have challenges in some areas in my personality blend. The SI, what is expected of me, suggests that I learn how to think things through, stand up, and prepare more, whereas the real me blend, CIS, points out that I can be a critical and very judgmental person at times. It encouraged me to guard against being judgmental and avoid bitterness and resentment, which I know I can be when I'm wrong in some ways. Enlarging the conversation, listening and communicating. To enlarge a conversation, a person would need to utilize the 6 features of communication, such as meaning, choice, culture, identities, conversations, meetings, and nexting. Stewart, 2009. According to Burley Allen, Knowing as much about people as possible allows you to be more effective in working with them. The better you are at reading people, the more you can predict how they will behave in certain circumstances. This brings me to effective listening and perceptions. This is an area I feel that I need to work on, because once a person makes a first impression or on someone, it's hard to change their perspective of you. As a future counselor, I will be involved in a lot of first impression encounters, and so I find it is prevalent that I know as much about my clients and be able to assess their behaviors to get a better picture of who they are. I must be careful not to take everything I see and hear at face value. I must be able to look deeper into a person and not stereotype or totalize them, as Stewart, 2012, implied in his book, Bridges, Not Walls. In other words, whatever I say concerning another or think about another can very well fall back on me. So, first impressions means everything. Judging others can be a dangerous thing, not so much because of the mistakes that we make, but because it is revealing the truth about who we are ourselves. Burley Allen, 1995. Peterson, 2007, discussed the value of communication. Listen a while, talk until the other person stops hearing, and listen until the person calms down enough again to hear. This brings me to Nexting by Stewart, 2012, and TLC by Peterson, 2007. Nexting allows opportunities for communication by leaving room open for questions and giving both partners the opportunity to listen to one another. This bridges their communication gap, which leaves out interference of noise pollution. I can enlarge my conversation by using Peterson's 2007 talker listening card. By using this process, I can have undivided attention of the other person and they have mine. By paying attention, this will show that I have good listening skills. Potential barriers to interpersonal context, listening. Burley Allen suggested, when people become conscious of how they talk to themselves, they are shocked at the negative tone of their internal dialogue. Such automatic response cause non-productive behaviors that can result in defensiveness, going around in circles, stress, and non-assertiveness. This leads me to barriers to listening. Below I have some barriers that I found some barriers that I have. Listening to more than one thing at a time, sympathizing rather than empathizing, prejudice or bias, which is past experiences, preoccupation, focus on my life rather than the person before me, and closed-mindedness, thinking my values, beliefs, and my beliefs rank higher than someone else's. Understanding how words affect my biases can help me be more in charge of myself the next time they are spoken. By becoming an empathetic level 1 listener, it does not matter if a situation is negative or positive. This level of listening minimizes any other chances of misunderstandings and altercations. I have become more open-minded by becoming a resource person and an effective listener rather than offering advice. Allowing a person to talk and then repeating back to that person what he or she said can be a solution to my close-minded barriers. This leads me to noise pollution. According to Burley Allen, processing means associating what is said with something familiar to you and repeating the information internally or out loud or summarizing what the person has said. Noise pollution, my life, my responsibilities, and my priorities. After reading Listening, the Forgotten Skill by Burley Allen, I now realize that the reason I am finding it difficult to remember what I heard is because I'm not taking the time to listen. My life has become more complex and fast-paced. I notice that I rarely slow down for myself anymore. Responsibilities. I am constantly on the move, completing college assignments, attending church functions, participating in activities, cooking, cleaning, working a full-time job, and most of all, being a supportive wife and mom. Some ways that I can work on improving my listening skills and processing and recalling information is by using visuals, handle activities, writing down what I hear, and slowing down to concentrate on what the person is saying by giving him my full attention. By doing this, it will help me to easily recall what I have learned or heard and be able to relay it back to the listener with clarity and understanding. A plan of action. It is not hard to communicate with others when one has the right skills and tools he or she needs to effectively engage in conversation of any kind. Here I'll sum it up with Talk or Listening Card by Peterson, Prayer, Meta-Communication, and Empathetic Listening. By using Peterson's TLC card, it will help me to redirect and possibly prevent conflicts in relationships and social interactions between others. I will commit myself to prayer by asking God for wisdom and discernment when talking to others to help me use appropriate words to fit the situation and help me to overcome fears when engaging my self-disclosures with others. I will be more aware and try to avoid meta-communication in my future conversations and be careful not to give off double meaning of control and connection within my conversations. By being an empathetic listener, it will allow me room to encourage others and offer them undivided attention without making them feel overwhelmed or defeated in the conversation. What is bothering, I will listen empathetically, which shows the individual that I'm concerned about what is bothering him or her and that I care. Having an empathetic listening skill will help me relate to others from different backgrounds by not making them feel like I'm looking down on them or feel sorry for them. This is my interpersonal communication presentation that I have before you today, which is my uniquely you, which makes me uniquely you. Thank you.